And once with my introduction, then we will kickstart with the demo session. So the duration for this demo session is about 15 to 20 minutes, where I will be explaining about the overview on the mobile automation, what is the importance of this mobile automation, and then why APM, and what are all the various advantages with this tool, and how exactly the mobile automation session would be established, and then what are we going to study as part of this training program. So there's a whole topics we need around a 15 to 20 minutes of time. And after that, this is open forum where we will discuss the question and answers as well. If at all you have any questions, we can discuss all those questions as well. Okay, perfect. With that note, let me start with my introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Surendra, having a 12 plus years of experience in testing, working with an organization as an mobile automation tester. My primary roles and responsibilities are automating their mobile applications. This is what about my professional profile is. Moving on, what are we going to study here? So the first and a foremost thing that we should know is these days, whatever the activity we are going to perform, we are using a mobile app for each and every activity. So, I can say that the importance of these mobile phones are rapidly growing with the various kinds of mobile apps, whatever we have. A best example for that one is assume that I want to watch a movie. Immediately, I can book a ticket from my mobile. I want to travel to my hometown. I can book a ticket from my mobile app. Or I want to pay my utility bill. Or I want to, spend some time on games or something, which I can do on a mobile app. So, a mobile is sufficing almost all kinds of needs, whatever we have with the various kinds of applications. Right. So the ultimate point here is, you can do almost all the operations on a mobile app. And moreover, majority of the organizations, they are trying to develop the mobile applications itself. So, if you observe, each and every website almost have a mobile applications, right? So even if you want to book a cab, even if you want to book a bike, you have a mobile app for all those things. So it means we are getting a more mobile apps right now. And of course, testing on those applications is also really important, right? Testing on those mobile applications is really important. Perfect. And then in such situations, in order to work on these kinds of a mobiles, right, the mobile applications to support, assume that I want to book a cab. So for that particular requirement, I should have a mobile app. Along with the mobile app, of course, I need a good internet connectivity also. Right. So certain mobile applications needs an internet connectivity in order to perform operations. Right. So the point here is we do have a bunch of mobile apps available in the market. Depending on our requirement, we are going to pick the app and we are going to perform operations. So consider Amazon.com, right? Or Amazon app basically. On this Amazon app, I can place an order or even I can pay my mobile bill. Right, I can pay my mobile bill or I can book a train ticket. So it means a single mobile app is helping me in getting my desired things. So that's the reason mobile apps are playing a crucial role in a real world, and testing the mobile apps is also important. Right. Testing the mobile apps is also important. As of now, we were talking about the mobile applications, right? So in the current market, we have three different types of mobile applications: mobile web app, native app, and an hybrid app. Okay, native app and as well as an hybrid app. These are the three different types of mobile applications which we have. So what exactly the mobile web app means? So web apps are not the real applications that you can download from the Play Store. These are websites that you are opening on a mobile basically. Okay, so I'm opening Amazon.com on my Chrome browser, which is available on my Android phone. Or I'm opening a bookmyshow.com on the mobile Safari browser, which I'm having. So basically, so the mobile webs, so the regular websites, whichever we are opening on a mobile browser, we call them as a web application. So the ultimate point here for these web applications is you don't have any real application, just a URL with which we can access the application on the mobile browser. Okay, we can access the application on the mobile browser, which we are calling it as a mobile web application. Then what is a native application and what is a hybrid application? So this hybrid application is equal to web application plus native app. Okay, that's fine. Then what is a native app then? We should know, right? So what exactly a native app means? This is an application which was developed for one platform. So the platform here means Android. It's a platform. iOS. It's an another platform. So the point out over here is these native apps are precisely developed for a particular platform. We can download these apps from the Play Store or App Store. So you can download these applications either from the Play Store or an App Store basically. And of course, these applications has access to the default applications which comes by default with your mobile, like a camera, an audio messaging or an audio functionality, so or the location functionality. So these are the default applications that comes by default with your mobile, right? Whenever I purchased a mobile, by default my mobile has a camera functionality inside that. If an application is using that particular feature depending on a need, the application is accessing the system applications. The default applications, we can also call them as a system applications, which comes by default with our system itself. Okay, consider a best example for that, a WhatsApp messenger. On a WhatsApp messenger, in order to do a video calling functionality, we are using the camera functionality, right? In order to achieve, the audio calling functionality, we are using a default audio feature that is available on a mobile. Or in order to share a location to your friend, you are using the location feature which comes by default with your mobile phone on that particular app. So the ultimate point here is these native apps have an access to our system resources, whichever the mobile phones, by default certain apps are there. There's a native apps has an access for all those things. So the ultimate point with respect to the native app is, of course, depending on the application need, they can use, okay, depending on an application need, they can use the various system resources available on our mobile. Okay, the various system resources available on our mobile itself. Okay, and hybrid apps and the native apps, both the applications you can download it from a from an app store or from a Play Store itself. Okay, then what is the basic differences between a hybrid and as well as a native? In a hybrid apps, basically, in certain screens, you can find a web views. A best example for that particular one is maybe we are using an application which has a login functionality. And whenever you clicked on a login button, a login screen was rendered on a mobile application itself. So whatever the login screen is there, that's gonna be a web page that itself is displaying on a mobile app. Okay, so these days, majority of the organizations are developing these hybrid applications itself. Okay, majority of the organizations are developing this hybrid application itself. Perfect. Ultimately, whenever you are working on a project, it may be a native app or it may be an hybrid app. Okay, perfect. Done the deal. And then, just a second. Okay. And then the next point that we need to consider here. Okay, so how are we gonna decide a particular tool? So Surendra, we have a bunch of tools available in a market, like for precise iOS automation, we have an XUI test. For precise Android automation, we have a different tools, and APM and a couple more tools are there. How are we gonna prefer these tools? See, the reason why mobile automation using this tool is becoming more popular here is, okay, this tool was built on top of our Selenium libraries. So what's going to happen here with this tool? The beauty here is, so assume that you have an existing Selenium framework in place. For that framework itself, we can integrate this mobile component. Okay, we can integrate this mobile component. So what it's going to happen right now, a single framework, it does has both mobile and as well as a web automation capabilities. Okay, so whatever the framework does we have as part of an organization, existing Selenium framework, we can also integrate the mobile capability for that, with which we can say that the framework does has both web and as well as a mobile integration. Okay, these days what majority of the organizations are doing means, as they have an existing framework in place for Selenium, they are going to integrate this mobile automation capability with that. Okay, and moreover, there are certain applications. Consider an example here. Okay, consider a small example here. Assume that, okay, assume that you placed an order in one website from their mobile application. Okay, you placed an order on a particular mobile application. Okay, so maybe you placed an order on some application. So there is a scenario that what exactly you need to do is, after placing an order, you need to establish a connection with their database on the browser and run few queries which should be performed on a browser itself. Okay, which should be performed on a browser. So that's the reason what are we gonna do means, once after we are done with the mobile activity, mobile app activity, then we will establish a connection with a browser on a laptop and we will try to retrieve the desired information there. Okay, we will try to retrieve the desired information there. Okay, that's going to be a different chunk. So these kind of requirements are there where, a mobile application or a framework should have a mobile capability and as well as a web capability, with which, with a single run itself, you can get both the results. Okay, with a single run itself, we can get both the results. That's what the ultimate point here, which we are gonna achieve. Okay, perfect. Done the deal. What additionally we are gonna get from this particular tool? If we are comfortable with any of the programming languages, you can write down the code. And another major beauty here is, with this particular tool, we can automate both Android and of course iOS devices using this tool. And assume that if the app was already installed, still we can automate those applications. So what does this point mean, Surendra? See, an example for this one is, assume that, okay, assume that, if you want to install the app on your mobile means definitely you should get that particular app, right? Assume that in the real world, whenever you are working on your projects, you will be having a Jenkins build. In the Jenkins build, you are gonna get the latest app files. Consider that you are going to get the latest app files from the Jenkins build itself. So you need to download that particular Jenkins app files are from Jenkins. And later, those app files should be installed. So what are we going to do means we will install those app files manually. App files manually on the desired devices, and later we will specify in the program that launch this application so that your tool will recognize it and it will launch the desired app. Okay. Perfect. Your tool will recognize it and it will launch the desired app. So the ultimate point here is if you have an app files with us, you can specify the app files. If you don't have an app files, you can still utilize those applications. So this is one example. Assume that, okay, assume that in your organization, they are using an app center or a test flight for mobile app releases. Okay, assume that they are giving you this application from this. So what are we going to do means we will install the app directly from test flight. Okay, it's a tool. Basically, we will install the app from the test flight and later we will ask our APM to launch the app from either an Android device or an iPhone, depending on our need. Okay, depending on our need, we will be specifying this particular activity. Fine. So immediately a quick question that comes in our mind. Okay, Surendra, you are going to specify that. Okay, so we will be passing certain information to our APM. So how are we going to pass those APMs? So what are all the key points that you need to consider? So here is the key thing, which is the desired capabilities. So using this set of desired capabilities itself, whatever the program you have created, it will establish a session with respect to those devices, which is a platform name, the platform version, the device name, automation name, and an app. So the platform name means on which platform I want to execute it. The platform version means what exactly the mobile OS version is, operating system version is, what is the device that we are going to target, and what is the automation name that we are going to use, and what exactly the app file is, whether you can specify the app files or if the app is already installed, you can specify that information. So these are the few of the desired capabilities that we are going to use depending on a project needs, the desired capabilities. There are a bunch of capabilities are there that we will be initializing, that we will be declaring as part of our programs. Okay. Perfect. Done the deal. So this is all about a brief intro on the importance of a mobile testing and what are all the features that we are getting with this particular APM tool and how are we going to establish the section. And later, the next and a most important point that we are going to study here is, what are all the topics we are going to study as part of this training program. So here, this whole training program, we split it into two parts. One is the Android automation and the second is an iOS automation. So, with respect to the Android automation, so we will, okay, with respect to the Android automation, we will study right from the installation of the basic component, including Java, whatever the components that are required for us to work on this Android automation, we will start from there and we will install each and everything in our machine and then we will configure it and then we will start with an automation. While automating, we are going to consider different sets of applications for our reference. considering different UI interactions. Like if at all any scroll is there, how exactly we are going to write down a scroll logic. If at all any slider is there, how are you going to perform the slider operation? If at all any double tap is required, how are we going to perform these operations? If at all any web view is there, if at all any hybrid app is there, how can we switch from the native instance to a web instance and switching back? Even that part we are going to study. There are a bunch of scenarios that we are going to study on both Android and as well as an iOS. And additionally, so the Android configuration, you can say that Android is a damn easy configuration. Moving on to an iOS, we will be getting a different sets of issues. Okay, different sets of issues with respect to the Mac configuration. So what are we going to study here is the Mac configuration along with the Mac automation also we are going to study here. And a few people may raise a question, Surendra, we don't have a Mac machine. How are we going to deal with it? Okay, there are certain softwares are there, using a VM machine, you can install a Mac software. Okay, there are certain contacts that you can find out on a Google that I can help you out. They used to charge a 500 rupees earlier, in order to install the complete Mac setup on your existing Windows machine. We can use that. Of course, there are a couple other cloud providers are there where they can offer the Mac software virtually, but those are not suggested. I have already tried them, the performance is completely low and the amount that we are going to pay them is a bit high. So that's the reason installing a VM in our machine and accessing the Mac software would be from the Mac VM would be the best solution. So you can do all the operations on that particular VM. So that's the thing. So here, what are we gonna study here means the complete Android iOS configuration with a bunch of real-time issues and as well as the solutions that we are gonna implement. Additionally, guys, if you have a Mac machine, even I will help you out in configuring in your Mac machine. And later, the Cucumber BDD page factory based TestNG framework also we are gonna study here. Okay, so Cucumber BDD page factory framework along with the TestNG concepts we are going to study here. And what is the significance of this Cucumber BDD framework along with the page factory implementation means we are going to maintain the same code base for both the Android and as well as an iOS. Okay, the same code base we are going to maintain for both Android and as well as an iOS using the page factory concept. Even that implementation we are going to see here. The Sauce Lab implementation we are going to see here. Additionally, the Jenkins master slave configuration also we are going to study within this training program. So the ultimate point here is we are going to cover 1 hour a day and 5 hours a week. And the total duration is around 20 to 25 hours. And of course, it may increase depending on your interactions. And if at all you are having any issues, we will connect to your machine and we will resolve those issues. Even for that, it will consume some time. So 20 to 25 hours is the average time for this training program. And the fee, we have officially announced as an 8,000 rupees, but, once the batch is got finalized, we are going to reduce that particular fee as well. So the regular sessions, we are going to start from either Wednesday or Thursday from the next week that we will publish. As we have all your email IDs and few other folks were there as part of a WhatsApp group, even we will communicate the final fee and as well as the session start date timings as well, everything over the WhatsApp group itself. Okay, perfect. I think I'm good from my end and it's open for you. If at all you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and address your questions.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, Ravi, good morning.
Yeah, like you are going to cover core Java as well, or is directly
No, we
APPIUM?
are going to start directly with the mobile automation itself. But for the core Java stuff, what I can do is I can give you access for the core Java tutorial, which you can have a look into. But officially, we are not going to start this core Java here, considering that people does have an idea on a core Java. But if assume that 4 people are attending these further sessions, and 3 people don't have a core Java knowledge, definitely we will study those concepts here. Okay, as part of our initial curriculum, we are not going to include that. But if majority of the people don't have an idea on that, we will cover the basics for 1 week and then we will jump on to the actual concepts. Okay.
Okay, I have basic idea like OOPS and
Yeah,
strings arrays, but I don't have knowledge on Java 8
got it. So,
things like that.
those things as mentioned, if that's the case, I can grant you access for the additional, advanced concepts of the Java so that you can directly brush up yourself from your end and you can implement those things here. As mentioned, if majority of the people don't have a knowledge, definitely I will include it as a separate topic within the sessions. Okay.
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 So
Hi, sir.
can we automate like React Native applications and Flutter applications too?
Yeah, so I do have an experience in automating the React Native applications and the React Native applications, Android is the easiest part, but iOS, depending on a React Native versions and the components, whatever they are using, you may encounter different sets of issues on an iOS, but we need to look into that, then only we can get a clarity. But depending on a React Native versions, you can use it. And of course, we can do the Flutter app automations, which we have helped for one of the students as a mobile automation support. So on a high level, I can say that both can be automated, but React Native, we need to look into your application and then only we can decide whether that can be automated from an iOS side or not. There are some restrictions and version compatibility issues with iOS nowadays on a React Native.
Okay, Android we can write.
Yes, Android, you can happily do that without any issues.
Okay, like after successful completion of this course, how much experience can I claim? Like 1 2 years, like.
So you can definitely keep around 4 years of experience to your profile, with which you can directly attend your interviews, or if at all you are tagged to any project, you can directly work on your projects. Okay.
Okay, can I test it from the scratch
Yes,
application?
within these sessions itself, we are helping you with the different sets of scenarios in testing the application. So this training program is going to be around one topic and the implementation, both a theory and a practical part, with which you will get a hands-on experience on a tool. At the end of the training program, you will get a content that you can implement out on your project. So we are not going to cover only the theory part here, a complete practical implementation we are going to cover within these sessions itself.
Hi,
Okay.
Surendra.
Yeah, hi Yogesh.
Hi. So basically, what is the duration of our APPIUM courses?
Yeah, as mentioned, the ideal duration is around a 20 to 25 hours, Yogesh, but that will increase. The reason is that 4 people were there in a session, and whenever we are working on a Mac configuration part, it may take a more time. So consider that it's gonna be 20 to 25 hours, but ideally, depending on the number of people, the way how we are interacting with them in resolving the issues, it will increase to 5 to 10 hours more. That's it.
Okay, but what is the duration for each day?
1 hour a day, 5 hours a week, and assume that if everyone is available on weekends, then definitely we can conduct the sessions on a weekends. As this is a demonstration session, I'm not sure about the head count, how many people will be joining the further sessions. So once we were able to start the final sessions, then we can discuss if you are available for 6 days or 7 days. We can conduct the sessions on all those days so that we can finalize once we start the
Okay,
sessions, roughly from the next
and
week. Okay.
and what is the time? There is any idea about for time?
Um, Probably in the same slot, or we may move it at our evening. So even that I will be finalizing for you all over the email by Wednesday or a Thursday. So the reason is few people, as this is a weekend, few people were available to join, but they may have some concerns on a weekdays. So that's the reason, I will check with others, and I will keep you posted over the email with respect to the start date, the time, and even the fee as well. All the three things I will keep you posted.
Okay,
Okay, done the deal. And guys, one small update from my end is, this Zoom meeting that we were using a trial version, and we have another 1 minute that it's gonna expire. The meeting will be ending in just a minute. If you have any questions, do reach out to me over the email, or you can raise it now. So the reason is, as it is an interaction, right? I don't think we can connect back again to resolve the queries. I hope we have covered almost everything. If you feel that your questions was not addressed, feel free to ping me on a WhatsApp. Majority of the people were in touch with me on my WhatsApp or a Telegram, or even few people have my email IDs, whichever is easy for you to communicate with me on those mediums so that I can revert back with your answers. Okay, perfect. Done the deal then. With that note, I'm taking a pause here. This meeting is going to end in a minute. So do share your feedback. I will drop out an email for you all. Okay. Kindly share your valuable feedback. Based on that, we can plan with the further sessions, guys. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for taking your time in attending the demo session. Wish you good luck. Bye-bye.